work session. We'll review the agenda. Move along then to open our voting meeting, at which we will have our student recognition and principals list, and then our public recognition as well, and then move to the voting portion of the meeting. So, looking at the agenda, there are some in the back if anybody's interested. We have our roll call, approval of minutes, treasurer's report. Then is our approval of bills for general account review service. Number 8 is our accounting of taxes, student recognition, public recognition, and our enrollment report for the month of March is 1813, which is 10 more students than last year. Number 12, fuel oil purchase. It's recommended that the board authorize the business manager to solicit bids for the purchasing of fuel oil for the 23-24 school year. Number 13, this is a motion to approve an agreement with the Meadows, which is a psychiatric center for educational services at the rate of $70 per day for the 23-24 and 24-25 school years. And that is based on student need as needed. Number 14, it's a recommendation to approve the E-rate funding application. It is proposed for Robert B. Wilson Elementary and Evergreen Elementary for the least 5th fiber agreement with Adams Cable. This lease will be for 3 years, beginning July 1st, 2023. The monthly cost will be $760, 80% of which is federally funded. Therefore, the total cost to Western Wayne will be $152 per month for the 3-year lease term. This is actually significantly less than what we have been paying, about half the cost of this year's. So that is good news. Lit fiber, excuse me. Number 15 is our personnel. 15A is for our district substitute list. We have guest teachers, 2 guest teachers, a social studies grade 7 to 12 certification, a 2 custodial positions, a school nurse substitute, and a 3rd guest teacher as well. Those names are listed. Letter B, we have 3 resignations / retirements, 1 in food service, 1 custodian, and 1 teacher. Custodian effective February 3rd, food service effective February 10th, and retirement is effective the last day of the 22-23 school year. Letter C, we have the appointment of spring coaches for the 22-23 school year, with the salaries listed in accordance with the contract. And we have boys tennis, we have track and field, head coach and assistants, and junior high track and field, as well as baseball assistant, baseball junior high, and volleyball boys assistant. Letter D is an appointment of fall coaches for the 23-24 school year. Again, salary listed as listed in the professional employees contract, contingent upon receipt of all clearances. We have football assistant coaches, football junior high coaches, cheerleading varsity football, cross country head coach, golf coach, and volleyball coach for girls for the fall of next school year. Letter E, this is a motion to approve an interim coach for boys tennis for the spring semester, for this coming spring sports season, for the dates of March 16th to March 20th, due to the coach unable to be present. So this individual So March 13th to the 21st, and then the two matches scheduled for the 16th and the 20th. Letter F, we have a recommendation to approve the following two custodians at the rate of $12.50 per hour with applicable fringe benefits effective immediately, contingent upon receipt of employment paperwork. And then letter G is an appointment of two food service workers, one effective March 6th, one effective March 2nd. Once again, at the rate of $12.50 per hour upon receipt of all employment paperwork. Letter H is a recommendation to approve an additional school police officer. This school police officer is a retired, recently retired state trooper. This person will not be in addition to the currently staffed people in each building. They'll be added into the rotation to provide relief on a daily basis. So we'll still have SPOs, one at the elementary, one at Evergreen, one at RD, and then two at the high school, middle school campus, but that'll be on a rotational basis. Letter I is an appointment for an advisor for the musical set construction. And then letter J, we have approval of volunteers for the 22-23 school year upon receipt of clearances for the drama club, 2 football volunteers, 2 baseball volunteers, and a track and field volunteer. Number 16, these are, excuse me, are informational items, important dates for March. On March 2nd, we have RDW Read Across America Book Fair at 5:30 p.m. March 8th, we have our bus evacuation drill. The rain date is March 9th. March 8th is also the Evergreen PTA meeting at 6 p.m. March 9th through 11th is the PMEA Regional Orchestra. March 13th is the Evergreen Agricultural Literacy Week. March 15th is RDW PTA meeting at 6:30. March 17th is a new dismissal from Act 80-day in-service. March 20th through 24th is pre-K and kindergarten registration for the elementary schools. And then March 9th, excuse me, number 9 is March 23rd to the 25th PMEA regional meeting. Letter B is a student teacher from Eastern University in special education, pre-K to 12 at RDW. 17 is our correspondence. 18 through 21 are the administrative and federal reports. 22 is any other business. 23, future meetings. Wednesday, April 5th, 2023, 6 p.m., board work session, and public board meeting following the work session. And adjournment. So that is the agenda. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns before we move forward?
Okay, we'll move right into the regular meeting, and we call this meeting of the March meeting of the Western Maine School Board to order. Ready, Ms. Simmons? Simmons, to get us recording? Okay. We'll begin with a brief prayer, followed by a pledge of allegiance, and then we'll Heavenly Father, during the upcoming season of renewal, let us always be guides to our students and examples and mentors to them, guiding them to become their best. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
do that, please?
Mr. Hope,
Here.
Mrs. DeCiato,
Here.
Mr. Gogolski,
Here.
Mr. Collins,
Here.
Mr. Enslin,
Here.
Mr. Gershi,
Here.
Mr. Gambita,
Here.
Mr. Auckland,
He's excused.
Mr. Wood,
He's excused as well.
Attorney Ellis,
He is excused.
Dr. Barrett,
Here.
Dr. LaRosa,
Here.
Miss Emmett is here, Mr. Gogorski,
Here.
Mrs. Bradley,
Here.
Mr. Pigeon,
Here.
Mrs. Miller,
Here.
Ms. Watson,
Here.
Mrs. Fitzsimmons,
Excused.
Mr. Barr,
Here.
Mr. Black,
Here.
Dr. Denike,
She's excused.
Dr. Szymanski,
Here.
Mrs. Gregory,
Here.
Mrs. Liptak,
Here.
Mr. Seaman,
Here.
Mr. Jakes.
Here.
Mr. President, you have 7 board members.
Thank you, Ms. Emmett. Move on to our approval of minutes from the board work session on February 1st and the regular board meeting also on February 1st.
I move that we approve the minutes of both of those meetings.
Motion was made by Mr. Gershi and seconded by Mr. Gambita. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed by saying no? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries. On to number 6, the treasurer's reports for the general and food service account. A motion for number 6, please.
I move to accept the treasurer's reports for the general and food service accounts.
Motion was made for the treasurer's reports from Mr. Gogolski and seconded by Mrs. DeCiato. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed by saying no? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries. Under number 7, the approval of bills for the general account, food services account.
I move for the approval of bills from the general and food service accounts.
Once again, that motion was made by Mr. Gogolski and seconded by Mrs. DeCiato. Is there any further discussion on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed by saying no? Are there any abstentions? That motion carries. We have nothing on the accounting taxes.
There's a report in the packet.
Student recognition, principals list. Mr. Gogorski, is that going to be on you?
Yes, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hope. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The first order of business for student recognition, we'd like to recognize our individuals who were on the principals list for the second marking period. The principals list represents the top 2 students, grade point average, again in the second marking period. So we'll start with our 9th grade students with the highest overall average. Grace Mosher. Our second highest overall average, also in 9th grade, Paul Borowski. Our 10th grade students, top average, Leah Hartman. Second highest average, Valida Bellanova. For our 11th grade students, top average, Adrian Agnello. Our second highest average, Emily Romanowski. For our 12th grade students, our top average was Mackenzie Lady. And our second highest average was Marshall Davis. I'd just like to congratulate all those students on their tremendous efforts in the second marking period and and leading up to throughout the school year. Congratulations to you. Please keep up the great work. Congratulations to your parents as well. You can have a round of applause for them also. Additionally, Mr. Hoke, in regard to student recognition, I'd like to pass it over to Mr. Jakes, who's going to give us some highlights from our winter sports season.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gorski. As we wrap up our winter sports, I just want to acknowledge, some of our athletes. They work tremendously hard over the winter, so I think they should be, acknowledged. Our girls' basketball team went on and qualified for the district tournament. They ended up falling in the first round, but they had a tremendous season, and definitely one to be proud of. Our junior high girls' basketball team finished the season at Damascus School in the tournament, and they came away champions. So that was great for them that they were able to finish up the season, on a high note. Wrestling, 6 of our wrestlers made the podium at the district tournament last weekend. 6th place, we have Marcello Kennedy. 5th place, Michael Smith. 3rd place, we had Nick Arcadapane, Liam Farley. 2nd place, we had Jake Leslie, and 4th place, we had Landon Morgan. Jake, Nick, Liam, and Landon will also be participating in the regional tournament this upcoming weekend. And at the girls' district tournament, we had Lexi Diziato and Sarah Shook, who came away district champions. So these are all, they represented Western Wayne, very well. I also wanted to point out that a lot of officials had approached me over the winter sports and spoke very, very highly of our student body and the way they presented themselves at our events. I definitely think that's worth noting as well. So congratulations to them, and if we could give them a round of applause.
Very good. Thank you all, and congratulations to all of you that participated in both and excelled in the classroom, on the court, on the mat, whatever you choose as your place to show your skills. We really appreciate that. It's really a pleasure to hear about your achievements. Okay, we'll move on to the recognition of the public. Oh, and if there's any students or parents that want to leave, that we're just recognizing, now's a great time to sneak out if you wish. Okay, we'll allow about 15 minutes for the recognition of the public. Anyone have anything they'd like to bring to the board?
I have something.
Please, as always, if you will, please just state
My
your
name is
name.
Kimberly Gifford, and I am going to start out by saying that we all know of the incident, why I've been here throughout, and had my daughter to the doctor, and she's functioning visually processing at 21% because of the issue that we had within the school. The concussion has provided her with a very serious injury that is now going to need therapy. With that being said, I'm here to ask you what changes have been made. This incident happened 2 months ago. We're 8 weeks out now, and I'm wondering what changes have been made and implemented for the safety of students in the school. I'm very aware that the student is still in school. It's shared from your teachers. It's shared from students. This is from this week. This is a picture of the student, not in dress code, half of a shirt, pants that look like underwear, sitting on the gym floor. I don't know if anybody would like to see it, but this is an issue. She's sitting right here in the front.
Photographs of other students.
It was sent to me, and it was on Instagram, so that makes it public. But this is in your school, in the gym.
Not without students.
With that being said, like I said, it was posted on social
And
media.
that's fine, not in this forum.
Okay, that's fine, but I want it to be clear that this was from this week. So this student is throwing up hand signs amongst other students, living her best life. You know what my student's doing? Struggling. Had to be removed from the school, and she is struggling. She is in tears every single day and has a processing disorder. With that being said, her education is lacking. Her testing that she took for the entry into another school is lacking on many levels. Here, first honors. all the things, always. Received a plaque at the end of 8th grade for being one of 8 in her class that exceptionally excelled. Bringing it all to your attention, I'm not sure if anybody wants to speak on any of this. I pulled some information from Pennsylvania State Education Association. Is that something you abide by or not?
PSEA? Yes.
Yes, so it says here, students with behavioral issues, including students with IEPs, school officials may unilaterally remove an IEP student to interim alternative placement for up to 45 school days if it includes a drug or weapons offense or when they inflict serious bodily injury. Is a 21%, and this is direct from her neurologist, a hit from the back of the head will impair your processing, which is what she's dealing with. Is that a serious bodily injury? To anyone. A 21% processing problem. And I have documentation from the doctor for that. It's a serious bodily injury. Why is this student not removed from this school? I don't know where the attorney is, the special education, whoever.
And our solicitor could not be here tonight.
We've been advised by legal counsel that we cannot discuss.
That's always the answer. Like, she's giving you facts here and you can't say anything.
I'm afraid
It's
so.
always,
And believe me, we would love to discuss it, but that's.
I'm sure.
But we're not allowed to.
But we don't have to speak on the case itself.
right, you guys just don't say a word.
We can speak on a similar situation. Like, Kim has brought up a number of issues. The education piece is huge. I brought that to the district last year. Same situation. I pulled my child from this district, go to another school to take a test, functioning at below 7th grade, right? But I had board members say, no, we're fine. So it's time to get our head out of the sand and see we have an issue here. Okay, that's point 1 that Ms. Gifford has brought up. Point 2 is the safety issue. This child or any child with an IEP that does bodily harm can, according to that paperwork, be removed from the district for 45 days. Any student. We're not talking about this student or that situation, any student. And it's unfortunate that we come month after month, and I have come to notice that change will never happen because it's not a priority to any of you because it hasn't
Mr. Barrett, are you
happened to
listening to this?
It hasn't happened to you. And that's the sad part. You don't have a student that can't do regular math. Nobody gives a crap because it doesn't affect you. It affected me. I got this from my board, from my administration, a shrug of the shoulder, at best. We have a situation where a young lady got the crap beat out of her. She had to leave the district because the school could not protect her. And yet an individual with assault issues is still doing her best life, doing gang signs on the Western Wayne floor among all these other kids. Like, it's so frustrating to sit here month after month and nothing changes. Nothing. Because it's not a priority to any of them. July I came to this board and I said, what are we going to do when students identify as the opposite sex? That was 9 months ago. My daughter played a basketball team with males identifying as females. What has my board done to protect my child? Nothing. Month after month, I come and I say, this will be the last damn meeting I come to. And I'm sure you wish it would be. Yep. But I'm so sick of nothing changing. And that is so sad because it's lack of leadership. That's what it comes to. Ms. Gifford has come here with some serious issues, and nobody can address it. A work session is crammed in 5 minutes. That would have been a great time to have a really good discussion with the community. But no, we pile it all in and out in 15, done deal. Next month, same thing, here we are. Nothing is discussed. Communication lacks huge in this district. It was brought up to you months ago. Nothing changes because it's not a priority to any of them. You can cut me off of my time, I'm happy to stop because nothing will change, Mr. Hope. Nothing.
Thank you for your input, and as I said, our legal counsel advised us not to discuss this matter. I'm sorry, that's not the answer you want.
It's
But
not,
you know
it's
what?
not even this case. What's the safety implements? What are they?
Exactly.
It's not this case. What are the implements?
Safety goes, our school has lots of safety.
What are they?
All kinds of.
What
things.
are they?
And they do the best they can.
What are they?
Right, there's no response.
Every situation.
Not even on the
What are
website. I can't look it up on the website.
We don't
to
always
even
share
see
all
what it
that
is.
information either.
You're
so-
not gonna tell me how you keep my child safe? You can't share that with me?
Well, one of the things, we just hired another.
You said just to relieve duty. You didn't say it would add to security. You said that was not an additional
We
security.
continue,
Those were your
we
words.
added additional to the elementary levels in the last year.
Okay.
And we do, we look at, safety's always a concern, of course. You always want to do the best you can.
We meet on a regular
You think you did the
basis.
best you can in this case?
I think the response was the best it could be in the situation.
Let me ask you a
did
question.
think
Why is that child
the
still in
classroom was
school?
the best you can do?
Again, I wish we could.
I can't-
Could talk about it more, but we're not allowed.
You can't say why that child is still in school.
No.
Well, we know they're still in school.
Now, with sticking up for the board, there's things they can't say, but I think you need to give them something. This child, I was told, has not been in the district long. And so why isn't she out? I understand you can't say things, and if you say something, everybody's gonna jump on it and make it look like something else. I understand, but you gotta give them something.
Yeah, we can't talk about an individual student generally, ever.
You can gladly talk about my student, because she's right here. And this is the one that's functioning with a
still don't.
21%.
We're not going to do that.
Feel free, you have my parental right, and that's the thing. It's just, we have to fix this. This has to get fixed. This is not the only student that is gonna act in this manner. I know we've had that conversation. But guess what, another one's gonna come in, and another one's gonna come in. There have been beatings with umbrellas. There's someone here who their child got knocked out cold in the gym. Okay? All the conversations that we keep having, something has to change. It's been 8 weeks. All I'm asking, is there progress being made in the right direction? This school, this house that we're speaking of has been a problem for 30 years. I know we all know that. And if anyone had kids in the district, they know that. There's parents sitting here that have had the same issues, but they have not resulted in a bodily injury.
When will she know the answer? Maybe that could help.
When will I get clarification on the whole thing?
We can't discuss it.
Under what forum can you say? Under what forum can you speak? If it's not now, well then when? Because I send my kids here every day. And they're at risk every day, according to, no, I'm just listening, they're at risk. You say their safety. Clearly not. These are good people here. I mean, my God, you know, you lead off with the Pledge of Allegiance and all this other stuff, but yet you have troubled kids in the school, and the one that is in trouble she can't even come to school. My kids are at risk for that. So when can you discuss it? When?
If there was a shooting at the school, would you discuss it with us? Yes or no? If it was a shooting, would you discuss it with us? So we'd be parents sitting here, and there's a shooting at the school, and it would never be discussed with the community or the parents of the children that were put in that situation. Because I don't understand the difference in violence. Violence is violence. So I'm confused on the difference. If we had a shooting 2 days ago, there'd be news cameras here, and we'd all be sitting here, and your answers would be the same. We can't tell you anything. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it.
Is that what it's gonna take as a news camera? Because it's there. If that's what it's gonna take. Day in and day out.
That's not going to change the answer, man.
Well, an
We'll try.
investigation will. An
Mr. Barrett, if
investigation.
that was your child and you were sitting over here, how would you feel if you were?
I understand the concerns as a parent. Very much.
But where do we go from here? Like, if you say you can't speak of it, then,
That is where we go from here. That's the answer.
so it just stops.
We can't speak of it.
But who can?
He's not even saying this incident. He's saying any
And there have
implement.
been conversations, of course, with individuals, parents, guardians, where they can.
Do parents have the right to know that their children are attending school with someone who has a pending felony and 2 misdemeanors? And probably stuff prior, assuming. Do parents have the right to know that their kids
It's not our job to assume
are
that.
here?
We don't have that information. That's not
Okay, so there is a pending felony and 2 misdemeanors in this
All right,
case,
I don't know where you got that information. We don't have that.
from the district attorney's office.
Okay.
Because Mia will have to appear in court, is what
It
I'm
should be your
told.
job to find that out.
Your police officers did the police report, so I was given that information from the school district.
How about dress code policy? Do you have it? Do you have the dress code policy? I mean, is that in effect?
There is absolutely just.
So why is nothing happening?
Yeah.
Why is nothing happening?
I got a call for ripped jeans once. Ripped jeans.
These policies aren't, like, they're in effect, but they're not, nothing's happening.
It's a distraction to education. If you'd like to take a look at it privately, it's a distraction to education. It looks like underwear.
You sit there red in the face and you really should. You honestly should. It's like watching Hillary or Nadler or anybody talk about, you know, Hunter's laptop with all this going on and no answers. It's the same thing. It's so frustrating. We all know. We all know what's going on, and we all know you're hiding behind what you know. Just talk. Just talk to us like we're humans. Why can't you do that?
Why is the solicitor not here on a night of such a
I
big
honestly don't know why he couldn't come.
problem?
I did not ask.
I have a good idea. He didn't want to deal with this.
No, I don't think that.
But I think dress code is a big thing, and I
Right,
think
there's no
that's
answers.
a
There's no
simple
answer to
thing
that.
that can be
Policy
changed.
pushes procedure, right? Policy
That's what we
pushes
say.
procedure. Something as simple as that. Why is this student here
Any student.
out of dress code? I don't know who else is, because this is the only thing I have a photo of. Why?
And I'm sure the dress code
Is-
is enforced.
It's not.
But
It's
it's
not.
not.
And I'm sure.
The day that happened, it
And I'm
wasn't.
sure it's abused.
It's during gym
On a
class.
regular basis, so again.
But nothing's happening with
our-
it. Nothing's happening at all.
I'm sure our people in the building.
It's not. It's not.
I have a question. What do you expect the community and the parents to get out of these meetings? As a board, what do you hope the community and parents get out of a meeting like this?
If you can't tell us anything, we come with our concerns, and as always, we can't say anything. Why do we come to express our concerns if there's not anything you could give us back?
We do hear you.
You hear it, but we don't see anything. We don't have any idea where those concerns go. They could be going in your one ear and out the other, and we never hear anything about it. Well, you can say that, but you have no proof of that because you don't tell us anything. You can't tell us anything, but we elect all of you people here. We elect you people, some of you, and you're supposed to be advocating for us, for our kids. Lots of people have kids here that are on the board. Like, why can't we get some answers?
I would like you to answer my question. What do you expect parents in the community to get out of meetings like this?
We've gone over the agenda. We've talked about everything you were going to.
Without being condescending,
No,
answer
what
my
we're going
question.
to do this evening, and you were here to hear that and digest it and comment on it if you wish.
But that's the business. That's the business. That's just the business
When you
aspect
open the
of the
floor up
school.
and say, is there any problems or concerns, and they're voiced, what do you expect the community to get from that? If you can't speak on anything?
It's not that we can't speak.
Comments are noted and they're documented. And those comments are public record.
So,
But where are they?
same comments that were made 3 months ago and are made tonight are just being, I'm imagining at this point, you're just photocopying the notes.
They're
Even though all
noted.
the same stuff is being said. So, I mean, you're literally just probably photocopying at this point. This is what they said, this is what the community said last month, and the month before, and the month before. Oh, I know, we'll tell them we can't address it.
And we'll make our lawyer not be here either.
Is there anything that this child, since she's still in school, is there anything being done in school with her, or is she free to roam the halls?
And we don't talk about individuals. You know we can't talk about individuals.
She has an escort.
So,
She has an escort. One of the resource officers is assigned to
Is there any,
escort
anything,
her
we've
around.
gone well over the 15 minutes just on this topic. Our answer can't change, so we're gonna
I've
move
been
It's
forward.
not
Eight
just
weeks
one
on.
topic. We brought up 3 different topics, and you told, for each topic, your answer was the same. You're saying enough on this topic. You're talking about the violence that happened between Ms. Gifford's daughter and the student we're not allowed to mention. Then we brought up 2 other topics. Dress code, you're not allowed to discuss that either?
No, dress code, we do have a dress code, and it is regularly enforced.
It is
And
not.
also regularly
It is not.
Incorrect.
It is
We all
not.
have students in the school, we're in the school more than you are,
That's
so.
also your perception, that's not.
We know.
No, that's
That's
100%. That's 100%. That's not being enforced.
And we know
That's
that.
regulation. Our administration works very, very diligently, and they put in a lot of time and hours, and they deal with a lot of situations on a daily basis.
We understand
And they do
administration's
it-
hands are held,
they-
or, I'm sorry, they're bound.
They do a
They probably
tremendous
see the
job.
problems and know the problems, but we know how things work, and they're probably being told the same things we're being told.
They do a tremendous job working to keep our kids safe, as does this board, as do Dr. Ross and
Well,
myself.
I think everyone in this room.
Can
would
anyone
disagree.
else speak
We have
besides
a
you
safety
two?
committee
Can any
that
of the
meets
other
regularly.
members speak?
I was wondering, that might
to address
Principals?
these concerns.
Anyone else add something to the pot? Or are they on a gag order of some sort?
Well, it goes across the board, that we're not going to speak about that, but if they have any, of course, any board member can comment at any point if they have any to add.
You can't speak to that situation that we're all talking about. That's the bottom line. Trust me. The attorney came to me and said, we recommend that you don't speak to this at all. I can't speak to it. I shouldn't even be saying what I'm saying, probably. I don't know that. But I can't speak to it. I mean, I recognize what you said before. If I was sitting in your seat, I can recognize that. But I can't speak to it.
Excuse me, could I please? You all know that I've been coming to the board meetings for a very long time and providing videos. So anybody that wants to see exactly what you think happens, you can look and make your own decisions about what has happened over the years, what has been brought up in front of the board, what the board has addressed, whether or not you agree with it. You can get to make your own opinions. When you look at the board's notes, they're very limited. They don't have everything because you couldn't possibly transcribe all that goes on. This is not the first time a student has been assaulted. This is not a recent problem. It is a long-term problem. My child had 3 assaults when she was in the school. Eventually, there was a monitor that escorted the person that was periodically violent. It took a very long time for that student to be removed. A very long time.
In the same house?
No, not at all. It was a male student.
So your point is, the
Point
history
is-
of Western Wayne is that if a student is assaulted, it takes a very long time for something to be done?
No, my point is that very often it's very difficult for parents to break through what has become a kind of an unpleasant tradition amongst school boards because it's always been done that way.
Doesn't make it right. Have to continue.
Does not make it right. But very often the parents just get worn down.
Doesn't make it right.
It does not make it right.
I'm not gonna get worn down. So here's
Does
the
not.
thing.
Does
What
not.
happens if another student, okay, what's your policy on students committing felonies, misdemeanors, whatever, police involvement in the school? What is the policy for a student? Regular student, my student. Say my student committed the crime. What is the policy for her? What is gonna happen to her? Because this is the precedent we're setting in the high school, because now we have chatter, hey, this kid did this, and look, she's still here. Look, doesn't matter, this is okay. Mia must be the jerk. She's the one that had to leave. Like I said, these roots run deep. We all went to this school. Back to my grandparents, and that's the thing. I'm wondering, what is the policy on that? If Mia were to commit a crime in the school against another student and give a serious bodily injury, what would you do to her? What
Once
would be the
again, we're
protocol?
not going to deal in hypotheticals, but every case is different.
What's the policy on it?
Every case is different. Every child is different. Every IEP.
There's still a policy.
everything they have.
There's
I
still a
that
policy.
child can be different.
He doesn't know the policy.
Mrs. Gifford, can I say something?
You absolutely can.
And again, I'm not speaking specific to this, but I'm concerned about the use of the term severe bodily injury, okay?
Sure.
I've heard you say it, and I want to clarify something. And please understand, this is not my interpretation.
No, give it.
I know that this is painful for a parent to hear that. But unfortunately, I do not know if Mia's injury would fall under that category. And that, please hear me out.
The
Please
doctor
hear me
said
out.
it was.
Yeah.
That is a special education term. And I can tell you, in my experience of doing this a very, very long time, very few children would fall under that unilateral move as a serious bodily injury.
So the doctor's not.
So a head injury.
Please let me finish. This is not my interpretation. It's not. I agree that your daughter, I understand it, everything that you're saying at 21%. But unfortunately, the definition of that is slightly different than what a parent would want to hear.
What is the definition?
What is the definition?
To qualify for that, it would almost mean like dismemberment.
Oh my God.
But a
Yeah.
cognitive
What?
issue.
I know.
No,
That literally came from a doctor.
I don't,
That,
yeah, that's
I don't know why.
That's fine.
it's in the doctor's writing.
It's in Pilgrim special
It's
ed.
defined just as
No, but
dismemberment, or is
Check
there
what
other
she said.
words?
Hold on. You're asking for information and I'm trying to give you the information.
Yep.
That
What does this
specific
even matter?
term is applied when we do a manifestation determination for a child that has an IEP. That's where that term came from. Again, this is not my feeling or my interpretation. That is the definition of that. And I know that is not what you want to hear. I understand that.
Yeah, we're
I'm
gonna,
just trying to give you information.
yeah, and that's fine. We're gonna differ on that, and that's fine.
And again, it's not,
Right.
it's the legal definition of it.
So the legal definition of severe bodily injury is dismemberment. There's no other terms to define it except dismemberment?
Having a head injury would not.
That's not my question. My question is what other terms define severe bodily injury?
Death.
Besides, okay, what else? Death is severe
death
bodily
defines
injury.
death.
Death is death. Go ahead.
You can look it up for yourself. I'm not
Well,
here to argue that. I'm just
You
here
seem to know, so I'm
explain.
asking you, ma'am.
I'm telling you based on my experience as a director of special ed,
Right.
being familiar with that term. It is very difficult to qualify anybody under that definition. And again, I cannot speak to this, but I am trying to give you some information so that you understand the predicament that the district is in. I'm not expecting any of you to agree with it. I'm just trying to give you some information.
This injury could follow her the rest of her life.
I don't dispute that, sir. I'm just speaking to the definition of that term.
You have to understand how frustrating this is to see this student out of dress code, sitting in the gym, doing all the things, living the best life. I don't, for lack of a better statement, I don't care what the issues are, because I have issues. From a student who had no issues. I have issues now. I don't care about all the minute details. To me, it's a serious bodily injury. To her doctor, it is as well. He was shocked to see the findings in the test. And I'm upset about it. And I'm not going away. And I hope all the documentation is in proper order. And I don't know why this kid was in the hallway without supervision. Because if she has an intellectual disability and you cannot remove her, she should have never had a period to take a walk and cool down. Unacceptable. The way that was handled was grossly negligent. Just so that's clear, for the record. A kid with a problem or a disability should at no point be allowed to take a cool-off walk in the hallway. And cool off on the back of my student's head. It should not have happened. And that's going to be my final statement.
Can I just say something? I know, I'm in the schools all the time, and they have people constantly walking around, and they have teachers, like I saw on TV, kids being bullied on the news. If they're bullying, they're in one of their offices getting reprimanded, something awful. That's bullying. They don't let anything go on. They don't have books being thrown. They don't have things being thrown. Kids not going to each other. Teachers are on that because they're standing in the halls as kids are passing back and forth. There's constantly people walking around with walkie-talkies. Am I allowed to say that?
Probably not.
But they are. But I'm saying, I see what's there. There's constantly people manning the halls. So that I feel good about, and that you should feel good about.
I do feel good about it. Mr.
Wait,
Thompson
I'm
was
not
there
there.
the whole time.
So, what I think they're saying is, it's good that we have all that, but this one case, kid needs to be made an example of. Get her out. She's not good. she stays there, that means somebody else can beat up on somebody else.
Now we're getting back into.
All right.
So, thank you,
Mr.
thank
Thompson
you
was
all.
there the whole time,
Yeah,
no
we do have to go
regard,
on.
no regard for
Thank-
authority.
We do appreciate your input, we do listen. Sorry, we can't always give you the answer you want. Moving forward, does anyone else have anything else they'd like to address the board?
What's that? I don't. So,
Okay.
I don't.
Go on. Our public recognition, we're going to go on to enrollment, which Dr. Barrett spoke about in the work session just prior to this meeting.
Thank you.
Who's next? Who's next?
All riled up, and then they just wait until you get so tired you can't
Oh,
sleep,
yeah.
and you leave.
That's what they want.
Don't
Yeah.
leave.
Thank you.
Okay. If we can, all right, we're going to do a block consent again for number 12 and 15J. Anyone have any comment on any of those agenda items? Or does anybody want to withhold any? 15J is the last one in personnel. It's the approval of volunteers. It's right before the informational items.
Just a quick question on some of the ball coaches, team coaches. Do the head coaches look for them, after them, that's pretty much out there?
Typically,
Or now,
allow the builder staff, we're assisting with that.
The Meadows, do we have that currently?
I believe, yes.
And then the rate is similar?
Which number are you referencing?
13, I'm just asking,
I'm just curious.
I think it's close, and I don't think it's.
Okay, I don't
have
remember that
this
from
kind of
previous years.
Okay, we have a motion for that block consent. Does anyone have anything else before I move on? All right, a motion for that block consent number 12 through 15J. Mr. Gershie? Seconded by Mr. Gambita. Any further discussion on any of those agenda items? Anybody want to withhold any? Motion was made by Mr. Gershie, seconded by Mr. Gambita. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed by saying no? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries. Since Dr. Barrett already covered the informational items for number 16, we won't go over that again. Correspondence and all the reports we've all had a chance to take a look at. We don't have any other correspondence that we need to know about. We did get a letter or a postcard from Mrs. Carla Smith. And she was thanking us, I guess I could read it quickly, to the board and Mr. Grigorski. I would like to thank Sherry Palmer for her exceptional attitude and attention to her job and recognize her for her kindness to the students at Western Wayne High School. I pull up each morning to drop off my daughter, and there I see Sherry. She is politely and efficiently directing traffic and greeting each student with a smile, a kind word of welcome, and a hug. The students clearly love her. Thank you, Sherry, for giving of yourself with your heart. Carla Smith. So that was a nice note for Sherry Palmer. Okay, I don't have any board members have any other business they'd like to discuss? Sure. Who's best at answering that question?
The teacher would typically send the child in the office or notify the office, administration can address that. And either give the opportunity for the child to appropriate clothing on, all the parents will bring some clothing. We also have stuff available for students as well.
Is there a number of offenses?
I don't remember if we had a threshold for, I don't remember if in the policy if we have a threshold for before more severe actions are taken.
I mean, I would say, just like anything else, a minor disciplinary infraction would be progressive. You know what I mean? If there's an infraction and if it continues to, escalate, we would escalate the behavior. But typically, we have the ability to fix those things rather quickly, as long as we're notified.
So a teacher has to notify you, or can another student say that they're out of dress code?
I mean, if we get to the point, but I mean, yeah, we would like it, obviously, to come from the staff members.
Where do leggings fall?
Sorry.
I understand.
There's a lot of things that you question.
Where does that fall in on the dress code?
I don't have the dress code. I don't know if that's even addressed in it.
We say you're under a gag order. But when they show us something that we really can't take. I think there should be zero tolerance on that. I mean, that's our dress code, that's our dress code. And it should be whether that means sending the child home or calling the parents, then do it.
A lot of kids wear leggings.
I know. That's why I threw that up.
There are multi-layers to it.
And not only that, it's fine for parents, because they're kids. Every kid is gonna push a boundary. That's just, and they're teenagers. They're going to try to get away with what they can get away with. We've all been there, we've all done it. The difference is the parents that they have at home. My daughter got dress coded. She went in with shorts, they said they were a little too short. She had to go get different shorts. I support that. I was like, well, then apparently they're too short. You get changed. You have parents that will support that and will check and all that kind of stuff. But then you have parents that you're going to call and say, your kid, and they're like, well, they're my kid. Now, if I let them dress that way, there's nothing. It's fighting an uphill battle. It really
Education
is.
starts at home.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Unfortunately, a lot of kids don't.
So it makes it difficult to always, for them and for the teachers, to always follow through, because you can only get so far, and then they're trying to do their jobs and they get kickback a lot.
And Gary, of course, we have these conversations, whenever it comes up, and then we talk about it, and we look into it. We ask our administrators again to stay on top, which we know they do already. And it's something as simple as the dress code becomes an issue in these kind of situations where, and it is, I don't want to say difficult to enforce, but I'm sure, like Kendall just said, they do, the kids do push it, I think, pretty regularly.
My own children included. I'm not saying, that my kids are great, because they're not.
2 periods later, they're back in whatever happened.
So does that count as 2 infractions then? No, serious. It's a serious question. Does it count as 2 infractions?
That's exactly how.
And that's the way it should count. And then, eventually it gets to the point where something else has to happen. I don't know what it is.
And I know a lot of male teachers don't want to comment. I go up, you don't want to know what I say to them.
But you don't have to say it to them. Go say it to whoever is going to enforce the dress code. You don't have to say it to the person. Why is that your responsibility? It's not.
Isn't it all teachers?
I say the teachers, if I'm a teacher and I'm the first person to see that child, it's my responsibility to report that child for a dress code.
To an admin.
No.
Usually a lot of times, I'm elementary, it's a whole different ball of wax, you know what I mean?
But
But like, we would be like, you need to go to the nurse.
Right, you need to go to the nurse, but it's not your place to say you're dressed in or you shouldn't be showing this or you shouldn't be showing that. You're being dress coded, go down to the nurse, period. That should be the end of the conversation. Male or female, you're not doing anything wrong at that point.
But unfortunately, when you're
a male in those situations? Part of you is saying you're supposed to notice, and the other part is saying you're not supposed to notice.
Exactly.
And that's tough.
A lot of the teachers have come up, now teachers come up to me going, 11 o'clock, you know, and then,
Yeah, because, like I said, that's sufficient.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else that they want to discuss here that we can discuss in the public forum?
just real quick, just giving you some more stats. Last week I was telling you that there's somebody working at Burger King flipping fries making 15 an hour. Now Walmart went up to 17 an hour, and all they have to do is put things on shelves. And in Wilkes-Barre, they're paying $200 a day for a substitute. Just want to up us to 150. Just say yes. Let's do it now. Let's be done. It's easy. Everybody will leave here smiling.
Well, as you know, I think we led that last round of raises, and we are, as budget happens to be starting to get into the limelight here for the next year, of course, we have all those conversations as to where we're going and what we're going to pay.
We're going to pay something. That's what we're going.
Thank you. All right. Future meetings, I think Dr. Barrett mentioned, but I will again, Wednesday, April 5th at 6 will be the board work session, followed by the regular meeting.
We'll add a budget work session during the month of April also, as soon as I get some dates and we'll check what works, but we'll do it towards the end of April. So we have some time before the main meeting to go over the budget in detail.
Okay, I think we have a new security officer back there. Is that you, sir? You are in the back there? Are you? No?
Me?
No. No? Okay.
Good one, though.
Mistaken identity.
No.
Sorry.
Raise your right hand.
Sorry.
Mr. Gershie could speak for me.
Oh, let me guess. He taught you.
Yes, he did.
Everybody?
Yes, he
Are
did.
you ready? You got a drink on that one. Whenever, because Mr. Gershie has fun everywhere.
He has.
No, I haven't.
And he looks the same today. And he still looks the same.
No, I haven't.
No, you don't feel the same. You look
There's
the same.
definite decay, there's no question.
Thank you all. Meeting adjourned.